Welcome, everybody. So we've been covering how to build an AI agency, and for the last, is it 4 or 5 sessions? I think this is the fifth one. And I think we've learned a lot of things, from how to acquire customers, how to use AI to multiply our creativity, to automate a lot of things. So today is more of putting everything together and seeing how can we actually now grow proper revenue, and taking advantages of AI, and can we build a real agency, and live the reality that we can actually do it without having to build a huge team, which traditionally was the case. So that's so today's a culmination of that, and we're gonna be just covering scenarios and just looking at just different angles. What, how does this road to, let's say, $10,000, $100,000 a month agency? This is quite a scaled up agency. I mean, at $10,000 you have a real business. At $100,000 you're probably looking at something very interesting and beautiful. It's a dream come true. So so let's get into it. So we are saying now people can compete, like agencies. Small agencies can actually be like enterprise companies, which previously, very few people could manage to build that. The reality is that a small team, like 3 people, can actually, outperform 30 people, because the more the people, the more it becomes very slow. And by the Pareto principle, that when you're 10 people, probably it's only 2 people who are adding real value to that whole team. 80% of the things most of the time don't really create so much value. And so by that nature, it means then these 2 people who, out of 10 people who always give value, now they can, if you gave them AI, then they could be just unstoppable and they could deliver way much more. But anyway, let's look at the traditional agency and how it was built. It was get more clients, hire more people, which creates more overhead and then slows down execution. That was the reality, very summarized in a nice way. So you had to scale headcount for you to scale revenue. And let's just look at scenario. For example, let's say you're doing 20,000 a month. The reality is that you have a team of 3 to 5 team members. Maybe those are full-time, and then you have maybe a few freelancers. You have salaries depending on the country you're in. This could range from the 7,000 to something like, probably you're actually running losses. It's a lot of revisions, it's burnout, and a lot of operational pressure. That's a reality we've had to live. So, and execution becomes a bottleneck. One website takes weeks. You scale that up, you have 5 projects, it just becomes chaos. Compare that to more clients and the communication that has to be done across the teams, across the clients. It just proper drama. So before AI, scaling required big teams, bigger and bigger teams. We have to keep adding people. It's a copywriter, it's a designer, it's a strategist, a web developer, it's a video, all that. And I know we all want to defend that AI. Of course, I don't think AI, it's just recalibrating all these titles and giving the copywriter the powers of a designer. It's giving the strategist the powers of a web developer, of an account manager. That's what AI is doing. It's taking a copywriter and making them a designer. And so probably now we can do more. We can do more for clients, actually. For me, that's how I see it. I know there is all the fear, the AI, misconceptions and myths, but today at Ndovesha, we just look at the opportunities and the advantages, and we want to take utilize them. So small teams can actually produce enterprise level output, launch websites in hours, generate campaigns in minutes, and the leverage is actually infinite when you think about it. So small agencies can actually win by becoming more leveraged. We're looking at speed, systems, AI, distribution, and all that, and the operational. And when we think about really Ndovesha, it's not just any other AI tool. It enables you to create enterprise level creatives, websites, just by talking to the AI, right? So what we are saying is we are changing production economics. It's about faster production, faster design, more campaigns, lower operational friction, and growth, basically. So you don't want 20 clients giving you chaos, or 5 websites are overwhelming. This is a reality previously of doing these things. So it's about now being able to do more, and that's the mental shift, the paradigm, and how we need to start seeing this. So you have to see the old model for what it is and the new model for what it is. So content production no longer requires large teams. I know we can argue all day on social media about whether AI gives you, product ready kind of designs and all that. But I think at the end of the day, that depends on, as you say, your expertise, your level of judgment, your level of creativity, how well you understand design, and then just compounds you. So it's that, and that's just the reality on the ground. The people now who really know what they're doing, they can now move and and they can go and go. I don't know what's the limit, actually. I don't think there's limit now. So for example, we actually now have covered. So we actually did a webinar on distribution, as I said. We did the assets, we talked about systems, and today we are just talking of now the whole leverage. So this is the new way of doing things. For those ones who have missed, I think the other webinars, they are all online on YouTube, so you can try to, maybe Lawrence, you can share some of the links so that the people who've joined today can get the links. They can catch up. There's also the PDFs we shared. You can share them again, and then you can give them the access. So clients alone don't scale agencies, and that's what we are saying, because initially we said for us to scale clients, we needed to scale people. Now, what do we need to scale? Of course, it's understanding AI deeply, in the sense that now, how do you scale those systems? And then they can work in a way that with a few people supervising them, they're able to produce quality that is acceptable. And yeah, that's just the whole point. So it's systems, it's amplifying creativity and leverage in this case. So, well, let's say in the next, how many? We are in 2026. By 2030, looking futuristically in foresight, how will agencies look like? They will be leaner. In fact, I saw on LinkedIn somebody saying how this big consulting firm, McKinsey and whatever, their business model is really being disrupted, and just a lot of, so it's bigger. It's just even beyond marketing and design. It's just a lot of, right now, even if you're somebody like a HR person, you can craft some document you need very quickly. So it just applies across. So, and that's how agencies will look like. They will be very lean, they move faster, and I think it will be just explosion of people doing these things. People will get it now. Will just be many, and we'll be able to serve more and more people, which I think previously was. And of course, affordability will be a key theme, definitely. So it's about speed, leverage, and removing friction. And that's how we see AI impacting. So